Hi, everybody. So I'm JWoW, Planet JWoW. Let's see, who is this playing in the background? Chopsticks by Jeff Norberg. Yeah. Gotta have that music thing going when we get started. That's the art part of how we move forward. So welcome to this class on safety. I want to bring what it is that allows us to create safety everywhere that we go. And I want to talk about specific principles and ways of being and mindsets and tools, some basic ones that make it possible for folks to be in their sovereignty and therefore have the opportunity for safety at any given point. That's and over the course of this, I'm set up so that you can, hi Linda, so that you can talk with me if you want to in the chat from multiple places. That's pretty exciting. All right, I'm gonna dive right in and talk. I know I'm supposed to talk a little bit about me, and part of why my name is JWoW, for those of you who have not met me, and I have a place called Planet JWoW. The process of working through, you weren't able to register, Linda. We'll work on that later. Thank you. We'll definitely work on that. Planet JWoW is a place where the languaging of inclusion, welcome, and empowerment is being lived. There are folks at various levels of living into, think about it, inclusion, welcome, empowerment. All three of those have agency involved. Inclusion is an act. That's a conscious, mindful act of using discernment and saying, this is a no. This is a boundary. And that boundary is critical to safety. I don't know who the Facebook user is. I think it might be Jerry Littlejohn, and whoever it is, thank you so much for tapping in. This isn't your typical class, because I called it a class because they told me I'm supposed to call it a class. This is me opening up what it is that I am and sharing with you what it is that we do as a multiple, as someone who's autistic, as a Black person, as a queer person, as a woman, as someone who's older, as someone who's physically handicapped, according to the world, differently abled, who is mentally handicapped, according to I won't say the world, according to the mainstream axis of the world. And what we're setting up, what qualifies me to do that is that I am those things. I'm a 24-person multiple. I am autistic. I'm an autistic savant. And that autism piece is inside an 8-year-old inside of me who does all kinds of things, has done things for science companies and the Pentagon and all kinds of folks. And so I've lived this differentness, this diversity. I am walking diversity inside of me. There are men and women and children and adults and old people and animals. And all of them have their own lives, their own memories, their own behaviors, their own expressions of themselves. And in any tribe, people's divergent diversities are opportunities to build bridges as much as they are opportunities to do damage. And so what keeps things from being damaging is whether or not your boundaries and borders are intact, whether or not they're strong enough, whether or not you have enough sovereignty to back the boundaries that you set. I'm going to say that again. Do you have enough sovereignty to back the boundaries that you set? Because there's that shifting line in the sand where people are like, we're not going any further than this. Okay, well, we're not retreating any further than this. Okay, well, we're not retreating any further than this. It's like, look, at least where I am, where I'm concerned, one of the things that I do is I set boundaries and then I hold them. Not deadlines, okay? Getting me to do stuff, working on that. I've got beloveds to help me work on that. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is what is it that creates safety? And safety is arbitrated by the boundaries that we set, the caliber of the boundaries that we set, just like the excellence or the caliber of the bridges we build arbitrates what traffic is able to flow between two gapped environments. That's what bridges do. They literally join gapped environments. There's a gap in the experience of power over our immediate reality that safety brings. There is power over what happens in our immediate reality that is arbitrated by safety, and that safety is arbitrated by sovereignty. Hi, Maya. Thank you. And it's great to see you. This is, by the way, Maya. It's Romero Gomez or Gomez Romero, I believe somewhere in there. No, I think I have the Romero wrong, but I remember the Gomez. Maya and Rainey Ford of Nematon and Mountain Woman Medicine are doing a guardianship course. And what it is that we're talking about here, the folks who actually study this, there is a safety course after this. This free course is so that I can get these 4 days, today, Thursday, following Monday, and the following Thursday. I'm going to be talking about how you can build safety on your own. And this safety that I'm talking about, the people who are serious about it, there'll be a course after this. There'll be a 4-part course where we really dive into this at a whole other level. And that course is meant to get people prepped for the guardianship course that Maya and Rainey are teaching, I believe in July. I could be lying about that. You'll have to check with Mountain Woman Medicine about when that is. All right. Mindset around safety and mindset around sovereignty, because that safety is an acronym for me-us, and it's an acronym of sovereign awareness for, from, everyone. Say that again. Safety, safe, being safe, sovereign awareness for and from everyone. Thank you. That's what safety is. That thank you at the end. That's our gratitude part for being able to generate safety. We'll come back to that in a minute. And actually, you know what? I'm going to work my way backwards. I usually work my way forwards with safety. I'm going to work my way backwards because I want you folks to get what it is that we're working toward. And what we're working toward ultimately is living in a world where we're grateful and delighted to be in that world. We are working towards a world where we are grateful and delighted to be in that world. And in order to have that happen, there needs to be a certain measure of safety, because the capacity for gratitude is one of the perks conferred by safety, because you're not focusing every single cell of your body on survival. It's critical to remember. Because when you're in a survival place, there is no luxury of thinking through, well, I feel safe and maybe I'll even be secure, or, I have some say over this. At a survival level, it's, what do I need to do to not die? What do I need to do to not die? What do I need to do to not die? Every single moment. We go from the existential root level question of it, literally of existence, whether we're going to exit or we're going to add the S of survival and the seeds of survival into that exit, so that we wind up not exiting and we wind up existing. And when we can exist contiguously, when we can exist and 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 exist every single moment in a row contiguously, that's survival. When we can contiguously survive, I'm surviving. Wow, I'm surviving. I'm still 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 surviving. That's when we get to safety. And that's what we're talking about today, is what happens when you're in that state, when you're in that place of being able to generate safety for yourself in a way that it happens time after time after time after time. Contiguous survival is safety. Contiguous existence is survival. Contiguous survival is safety. All right. So again, working backwards, that thank you is for being in a world, and please just stay on the ride with me. Right. And I say that because so often, if I could see you guys, I tried to do a Zoom where I could see you. I need somebody to help me do that. And we're figuring out all the things that are going to get this information out and get me out there. All right. So the survival piece that gets us to safety is where we look first to see what is our environment. Because if you're surviving, in order to have safety, you have to have survival. And survival happens at that immediate interaction place between selves and our context. What's around us? So that interface between survival and context is where safety has the opportunity to occur. And we get to learn things about our context from the choices that we make that successfully have us survive. Remember I said, please bring your pen and paper? All right. And I'm about to find out if this is too much information in this short amount of time. Folks are always saying, only talk about 3 things because people can't handle more than 3 things. And I'm like, I don't buy it. I want to talk about the whole thing and people can go back and study. I would rather do that. I would rather give you more and then have it work for you and have you come back to it. I'd rather have you come back to these free videos than not get that into your system and not have it to get into your system. So I'm explaining along the way why I'm doing what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Okay. I put up a post. It says safety is created by the ethical dangerous ones. That's because people who are dangerous are the ones who are a threat to your existence. That's what danger is. In some way, shape, or form, something that's dangerous is dangerous because it has the capacity to end your existence. In some way, shape, or form, your existence as a survivor, your existence in safety. There's this existential thing that is underneath everything in what we call the humanality journey on planet JWoW, in the journey of us into being the goodest, greatest human beings that we can be. That journey is predicated on, rooted in our sense of what it takes to exist and hopefully exist well. So there's this existential piece underneath everything. When we look at the survival level at what are we surviving? What are we creating that survival in? Then that lets us know what the context is that shapes the Play-Doh of our energies and lives that we are pushing through those openings. These kinds of considerations actually shape our behaviors. And so often folks are looking to change their behaviors without looking at what's underneath the behaviors. Why are you doing this? As a being that has chosen to exist, you keep choosing to exist or you'd be dead. If you don't choose to exist, even at some, it may be automatic. It may be something that you're not conscious or mindful of. That doesn't mean that the choice isn't being made, because if your cells stop choosing to exist, you're dead. When that choice doesn't happen, you're not here. So when something can threaten your capacity for the automatic or conscious parts of you to make a choice about your existence, that's when it becomes dangerous. Safety is created by the ethical dangerous ones. When you start getting into ethics, now you're starting to talk about context. So we've established that you get to existence, you get to survival, you get to safety. Everybody on the road with me, that's the beginning of the humanality sequence, okay? Existence, survival, safety. Contiguity gets us to safety. So now we have a path to safety. We have an acronymic definition of safety: sovereign awareness for, from, everyone. Thank you. And we're working our way into how do we establish that safety wherever we are, under whatever circumstances there are. How do we establish that? Good question. Glad you asked, folks. We are in the process of looking at what is the context in which safety can occur. Because safety has a couple of pieces to it. It's amazing how that works. Safety has both the existence of safety, the capacity for people to not be in danger. Safety is the notness of danger. A context that is created so that people have the capacity to express themselves in a space where a threat to their existence does not exist. That's when we're generating safety. So think about it. It's not simply head stuff. When you're in a conference room, like you're in a boardroom, all right, for some of us, I've got boardroom, I've got, ancient growth sequoias, I've got, a desert, for contexts in which this is real for me. So in a boardroom, what I do, boardrooms and alleyways, same set of safety needs, by the way. In that context, safety is created by the folks who are dangerous in that room. The dangerous folks, if I'm working for someone and I'm in a boardroom, they can fire me. They can end I may get another job, and in that moment, they can end my ability to pay for my bills, to take care of my family, to have health insurance, to have a stable place that is making my life possible. That can happen in a boardroom. That's danger. And that's how so many people feel about their jobs. Safety isn't just this, out there cloud of thought and feeling and some amorphous thing that doesn't have definition, that totally affects our lives in a concretized way. That's not true. Safety is very real. And how we feel about safety in any context determines our levels of competence, our comfort, our willingness to be vulnerable, our capacity for vulnerability, our capacity to receive things that are good, that are gifts, to receive things that are needed, that are mojicin or medicine. All of that comes out of how safe do we feel. I wrote being and feeling safe for a reason, because you can be in Fort Knox. You're not going to be in Fort Knox. You can be in some facility surrounded by 30,000 lethal guards and still not feel safe. The experience of safety and the real-ality of safety being defined by, in this moment, the notness of danger, the experience of it and the real-ality of it are not givens. Evel Knievel. Okay, I'm 62, so there are a whole bunch of you who are like, who's that? Evel Knievel. Evel Knievel is this nut job. There's adrenaline junkies, and then there's that man. Okay, he tried to, he must have succeeded in some way to jump some sort of motorcycle or something across something crazy like the Grand Canyon or some wildness like that. Okay, and was he safe? No. The reality of his safety doesn't know. Did he feel safe? Yes. I don't understand that. I'm like, dude, seriously, you can't see that this is not safe, but that was the point. He found safety in danger. That was his safety. That was a huge realization for me, because he chose to feel safe over and over again. He tested his capacity to both be safe and feel safe in places where for other human beings, that would have been a notness of safety. Thank you, world, for being a notness of danger in which I can express my strengths and my vulnerabilities in a way where I continue to have the experience of not being in danger so contiguously that I actually have the experience of safety after I'm done realizing that I'm not just surviving and I'm not in danger. And so now I get to have the isness experience of safety. Notness, facing out, danger. Isness experience, inclusion. Exclusion of danger, inclusion of safety. So now I get to have the safety experience, and out of that safety experience, there is a relaxation. There are physiological things that happen. There's a sense of how do we allow ourselves to do that? The R word, relax. How do we relax? We don't relax. Relaxation is an event. It is a relaxation is a state and an event that occurs when there's enough safety. There has to be enough safety. If you're at survival level, you're not relaxing. Or if you are, you're not being very competent as far as I'm concerned about surviving, because surviving is a moment to moment to moment to moment to moment to moment to moment event. If you're doing it well, you may be exhausted. Who gives a shit? Okay, if you're surviving, if you're running for your life, if you know whatever the thing is that you're doing, been there, people chasing me, trying to kill me, there's no relaxation because you don't have safety. So ultimately, safety begets freedom. Structure is part of what makes freedom possible. And when you find a structure that sets you up so that when you experience the safety at levels, at greater and greater and greater levels, because what comes after safety is security, contiguous existence is survival, contiguous survival is safety, contiguous safety is security, contiguous security is that you can generate for yourself and other that sovereignty. So we're leading into getting to what the sovereignty is. So this structuring that sets us up for having freedom, that's ultimately what we're working towards. We're working towards an understanding of what goes into that. That's what we're doing right now. And then we're going to be talking about how we are talking about the component pieces of how it is that we're able to construct safety in environments that may not have the safety that's needed. We're going to come to that. All right. So where we are right now, we've gotten to we've gotten away now from the excluding that which is dangerous to the including, facing, inward, that which is safe. And then there are the perks of continuous safety, not contiguous, continuous safety. So it happens regularly. It happens regularly. Safety, 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 safety. Think of a hopping bunny. Safety, 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 safety. Right? Which is not contiguous safety. We'll get to that. Having the experience of safety at all is how we have the opportunity to get ourselves to the sovereignty that most of us want. I can't say everyone, some people aren't even thinking about it. And even those who are thinking about it don't necessarily know that they deserve it or can have it or whatever the things are that get in the way. So for those of us who are working towards making the difference in the world, making a difference for ourselves, moving ourselves into places of power, power being defined as the ability to influence that which is not our isness. For those of us who are using what we've been given with our awake humanity, and I'm not talking about being woke, I'm talking about just being fucking awake. Okay, those of us who are using our awake humanity to make some kind of difference for other as well, knowing how to create safety for ourselves so that we can create safety eventually for others, which comes out of the creating security for others. Knowing how to do those things from a roots level means that we can do it faster and that we're rooted into it. Though so many folks talk about, I just need to get grounded. And I'm like, I'm not interested in being grounded. If I was grounded, tumbleweeds are grounded. They're on the ground all the time. I want to be rooted. I want to be rooted so that when, Hurricane Katrina comes through and I'm, some pretty big tree with decent roots, I get swept away. However, there were old stumps that people thought were dead. Their roots went so deep that when Katrina came through, they were like, that's all you got? I'm rooted. You can't move me. And that's one of the places that I do. Please do something more than grounding. I need to get grounded. You need to get rooted. There's an art and science to rooting into your own goodness and greatness so that more of you is available to do the things that you want to do in the world. Because what happens out of safety is room. It's room to grow. It's room to breathe. It's room to get things done. Isn't it funny that there's grass that grows in the cracks in asphalt of a street, an urban street, a busy urban street? I was fascinated by that. And I realized the grass doesn't grow in the middle of the street because it's not safe there. That's dangerous to grass. However, just at the edge of it, where cars only come sometimes, over by the curb, grass would grow. It's a dangerous area, and yet that grass was safe enough to be able to get growth in what would normally be seen as a hostile environment. It's tar. It's asphalt. There's no food for the grass there. That has to have gotten broken and cracked enough for there to be just enough dirt for the grass to come up. And there needs to be just enough not traffic for the grass to be able to grow. And that gets it to safety. We similarly, for example, I talked about a boardroom. Let's talk about a pagan gathering or a spiritual gathering. I was at one, past couple of years, I was at one where it was an event where specifically people were learning about touch and safe touch. And they did some, wild ass stretchy things to have people have the experience of being touched and being okay and being held with it and and having fun while doing it, because fun also negates a lot of our sense of safety. As you well know, for fun, we go skiing. Seriously, 2 flat boards and a whole lot of ice. You want to go sliding around on an incline? I don't get it. That didn't make any sense, much less a steep incline. And yet people do it for fun. And yes, sometimes they get hurt. Oh, you're very welcome, Jerry. My pleasure, my privilege. Sometimes people get hurt when they go skiing, and they get hurt bad if they're skiing a lot. I managed to hurt myself on the bunny slope. Swear to God, fun story some other time. Rescued by a guy named Sven. I shit you not. All right, so the safety piece obviously has some fluidity to it. Coming back to our formula, thank you, because that's the world we're building, right? Safety, sovereign awareness from everyone. Let's talk about everyone. Okay, so you're at a gathering, you're in a boardroom, you're in an alleyway, you're at a birthday party, you're at your mom's house in the basement, you're in the middle, like I said, of 30,000 troops who are all bristling and ready to defend you. All these are situations that have the capacity for safety and the capacity for danger. Yes, there's danger in your mom's basement. I swear to God. And I'm not talking about the boogie person behind the heater. There is a capacity for danger anywhere. You can be dangerous to yourself. You can slip and fall and land just wrong and hit your head just wrong and die. That can happen and nobody's around. I almost bled out at Burning Man. Who knew that after I did what my God has told me to do and did basically a personal sweat lodge, that I would pass out backwards and crack my head open on the metal rung of an RV and almost bleed out in the middle of Burning Man. Okay, I was perfectly fine. I was safe. Everyone, I believe, you want to talk about a birthright? If you've managed to not die long enough to be, alive, in my world, I would love it if everyone had the conscious experience of safety at least once, so that they've got a model, so that there's something that's imprinted as a template for what they can come back to, real safety. When I got the pleasure and privilege, and I say pleasure because of the people, not because of what got them to where they were. When I had the pleasure, the honor, the privilege of getting to sit down with an Auschwitz survivor, not crying. When I got to do that, and they talked about their sense of safety, not being very big and being present, and it's part of how they survived. They knew that they were going to get out of this. That was said by somebody who watched them march their mother to the fucking gas chamber. Okay, you want to talk about calling safety in? I'm going to do and be and experience what it means to not be in danger, even as I'm doing all of the behaviors that have me survive, so that I have a chance, contiguously surviving to get to safety. Folks, this is not theoretical. If you can get in your body, in your bones, how you can live into this so that you can have that feeling of safety. Trust in God and lock your car. You get to have the feeling of safety, which actually feels really good, while you are also doing the things that keep you out of danger. What a concept. Let's do them both. I don't know. It's a math game. Bake 2 cakes. I want not danger and yes, safety. I would like 2 cakes, please. I would like them both. I want the notness of danger and I want the isness of safety. And in my case, the next 2 cakes after getting the isness of safety, I had 2 cakes, the notness of danger, the isness of safety. Now I have 2 more cakes. I've got a damn bakery line going here. Now I want the 2 cakes of being and feeling safe. So often folks can't think because they don't feel safe, even though they are safe. Ask anyone who's been rescued. You get rescued, and there's that moment where your brain just stops. It just stops. And you almost don't know where you are, even though you know where you are. And you realize that you survived long enough to get to safety. Am I safe yet? Yes, you're safe. Thank you so much for rescuing me. Thank you so much for saving me. Like safety. People think of saving someone as, it's a thing that doesn't have anything to do with safety. And the word is based in safety. You are in that moment ensuring the isness of safety for someone when you save them. We'll come back to that from a cultural justice standpoint. You are generating the isness of safety for someone when you save them. Knowing that that's what you're doing, that explains why folks who are being cultural saviors, I don't need a white savior. I don't even talk about the anorexic surfer boy Jesus thing on the cross, The man was a boat builder. He was racked. He was dark. He had dark curly hair, more than likely, hair like lamb's wool. So it wasn't straight like the surfer boy. Doubt that he had blue eyes. He was Israeli. As I said, he was a boat builder and he was racked. But they're not going to put all that hunk up on a cross. That's not inspiring. We get inspired by desperation, by vulnerability. We get inspired to advocate, to stand for, to be with, to be alongside that which is vulnerable, that which is in danger. And when we get to the point where we get addicted to finding the things that are in danger so that causally we can save them, that's when you become a savior. Savior, not good. Not good any more than martyr is. What is good is being a sovereign who can generate from a place of love and clarity and not taking over someone else's agency. Like if you go into a situation where you're like, whether you want to be saved or not, I'm going to save your ass. You better be willing to own the fact that you are just tromping all over someone's agency. Now, case in point, as a lifeguard, they tell you straight up, you're going to swim out there. They're going to be figuring they're drowning. They're going to freak out. They're going to try and draw you in. They're going to try and hurt you. And then both of you die. So if it's clear that someone isn't going to let you save them and they hold on, you swim back. And then if they don't let you, you go in and you clean their clock. You knock them out. You knock their teeth out of their head. Then you drag their ass back to shore, because here's the reality. They can be pissed at you and sue you if they're alive. If they're not alive, you got nothing to worry about. So there's that thought. I mean, you'd be like, look, if I will leave you out here to drown, I'm not going to be in trouble. And then there's some of us who are just going to sock them in the jaw and then take them to shore. And it's like somebody else can deal with that mess. I have a tendency to save people. I have the opportunity to tromp all over their individuated agency and then get them to a better place and then go away. I don't have to deal with all that psychological mess and what have you. You got your life. I did my part. I have one thing. When I was standing in alleyways, this is very real, beloveds. When I was standing in alleyways at 17 years old, my freshman year at Harvard, because God sent me to the alleyway, showed me who was going to come to commit suicide, what they would be wearing, and told me which alleyway to stand in. So I went to the alleyway and I stood in it. And then the person came and they were wearing what God showed me. This was it was a thing. Anyway, for me, I was safe. Let me tell you about S.A.F.E.T.Y. 3 blocks from where I was standing in 1977. In 1976, a little black girl had walked through that part of South Boston and they killed her. And the guy's defense was, she is black. Like, she's black. So I killed her because she was in my neighborhood. It's a little girl with a backpack. All right, was I safe? Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Except, yes, I was. I was because God sent me. So in another alleyway, for the same reason, because God forgot to show me the guy who was 6'4", 0.5% body fat on PCP with a Glock. When I jammed my head into the barrel of his gun, for me, I was safe. And I told him I was safe because I was sent by God. People talk about, Blues Brothers, I'm on a mission from God. I was on an actual mission from God. I said that before there was Blues Brothers. So there, and I actually meant it. I said that the first time with a Glock resting on my third eye. I'm on a mission from God. You can't kill me. I generated my own safety because God was with me. God sent me, and I'm like, I know you didn't send me on a suicide mission. So obviously all of the contextual things that I see that tell me that I am in the very notness of the soul of safety must not apply to me somehow miraculously. Y'all see me here. That was 1977. I'm still here. So obviously that was true, whether it felt like it or not. And that's the thing. Sometimes safety feels like safety, and sometimes safety doesn't feel like safety at all. Sometimes safety feels like danger. There we go. Sometimes safety feels like danger. And yet our sense of safety, what we understand about safety and our sense of safety are not the same thing. So creating environments where people can both be safe and feel safe, that's when you're generating real safety. Working backwards. Thank you for a world where safety can occur, where the notness of danger can occur. Yay. Everyone, for everyone. When anyone who chooses to be in an environment can have the experience of safety, that they feel it inside, and the situation is safe, that's when you've got real safety that you can work with, that can get you to security, that can get you to sovereignty. In this event where someone got raped in a space that needed to be a different kind and level of safe, when the construct was made for the event, there was not enough energy and or thought put into dealing with danger so that the experience of safety could emerge. Large scale safety. Those folks are now working on that. Yay. And that safety piece is one that needs to actively be generated when you're bringing in diverse people. What works as safety for one person does not necessarily mean that it is safe for another person. So that everyone's statement of safety, sovereign awareness from everyone, thank you. The everyone part is everyone who's already aligned in some way, whether they are conscious of it or not, with the context in which they are existing. All right. Yeah. Set the energetic container for safety before calling in groups. Right. And if you don't know what you're calling in terms of the safety, then how are you going to have it? Because there are plenty of people who are like, yeah, it's a safe container. And then I get there and energetically, there are holes that I can drive a truck through. I can drive a fleet of 18-wheelers through. And yet for most people, that's safe enough. It's not safe enough for me. When you tell me a container is safe, that thing needs to be safe. It needs to be complete. I need to poke it and, it swallows my finger and lets me have my finger back and still doesn't let anything in and doesn't let anything out. If you don't have that, then you don't have a container that's safe enough for me, because I blow holes in, Guantanamo Bay walls. So your energetic container better be the real thing. If you're going to have me there, or have any of the people who are powerful who are in my life there, you're going to need that. So the everyone is everyone who's aligned with wanting to be safe in that environment so that they can express and experience what it is that they came there to express and experience. There's another piece of definition for safety. So that everyone is not everyone in the world gets to be safe, feel safe, because everyone in the world does not get to be safe, feel safe. Even if everyone in the world is safe, it's not true that everyone will feel safe, even once that is true. Because in micro environments, we see that happen all the time. People don't feel safe. I have complex PSD at a Vietnam POW level. That's diagnosed. Okay. I am paranoid inside my own skin. I don't need to be in another environment. And I have chosen to take on the behaviors of feeling safe, whether I can feel safe or not, so that I can interact with people. I know that it means that I need to be aligned with the guidelines of the context in which I exist. Being aligned with the guidelines of the context in which I'm existing, in which I'm expressing. So I get to be part of that everyone. Sovereign awareness from everyone. Okay, so we're working our way through the awareness piece. People say, well, why don't you say alert? Alert has the paranoid edge to it. Alert is there is imminent danger. That's what alert is. There's imminent danger. You can be aware in the center of town and alert at the edge of town. Alert is what happens when you're right up next to and near danger, that existential threat thing. Alertness without imminent danger is paranoia. Alertness without the actuality of imminent danger does not get us anything except tiredness and fatigue of those particular neural pathways. Pick your paranoia places. Pick your paranoia places. It'll keep you out of the loony bin. Yo, those of you who are in and out of the loony bin because of your PTSD, when you get enough sovereignty, you get to pick your paranoia places. I help you with that. I'm not locked up and I'm not on medication, and that's real. And I don't care what the shrinks say. I don't care what the psych community says. There's a sovereignty piece. We're not broken, we're hurt. That's where we are. Those of us who have intense PTSD. And there's a way to choose what we're paranoid about. I'm not going to get unparanoid. Lord have mercy. Those of you who know my life, I have a right to be paranoid. I have a right to be paranoid anywhere, anytime, for any reason. In places that have been absolutely Fort Knox safe, I have gotten screwed. I have gotten hurt. I get to be paranoid. I pick my paranoia so that I can be in my bliss more. Because ultimately, what all of this is about, figuring out the safety thing, we're figuring out the safety thing so that we can get more bliss in our lives. We want to be happier. Some people's happy is kind of sick. And yet there's still that fundamental human drive to be happy and to be happier. So we're working on that. We're working through that. We're working with that. We're working preposition that in order to be able to take in all of the, what we call on Planet JWoW, moju sins. I don't want to call them medicine because I don't want the medical community telling me what I can and cannot say. We have moju sins, and you can look up the other videos to find out about that and what that means. We're working towards being in more bliss. And safety is a fundamental way to make sure that we can get to there and that we can have the opportunity to stay there longer. Yay. All right. So the awareness comes from this next stage. So we've got safety, right? We're talking about this fundamental safety here. And then contiguous safety is security. When you are safe, now, I'm safe now, 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 safe now. Okay, right. I'm safe. Oh, for God's sake, I'm safe. Everywhere I look, I'm safe. There's safety everywhere. I can't hurt myself here. I can't screw up here. I'm not going to say the wrong thing and get fired. I'm not going to say the wrong thing and get hurt. I'm not the wrong color for the environment, so no one's going to shoot me out of the blue. I am, whatever the thing is that I'm the notness of, so that I can experience safety. And then I can also choose the safety in the thing. I get to be here. I get to express myself. I get to experience the safety. Boom, 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 boom. You do that. That's when you get to security. Security is stacked, contiguous safety. Like hoard the safety. And when we get to that level of safety, we're not being alert. We're not doing the at the edges paranoia is a good thing because I'm paranoid for a good reason. I'm paranoid because I got raped over 30 times and I've had people put guns to my head and I've had people chase me into places and try and destroy my hands. Like I have a reason to be paranoid. I've composted my clinical paranoia into functional hypervigilance, okay? And what I've done with that functional hypervigilance is be aware instead of alert. Be alert, the world needs more alerts. I can never get that out of my head. I saw it once anyway, right? I don't want to have a whole bevy of alerts. Because if I'm going to be alert, I'm going to be alert enough for like a platoon of people. Have you met me? I am a platoon of people. Okay, so I'm a platoon of beings. Alertness is what happens before paranoia. It's a step before paranoia. Awareness gets us to alertness. If I have to be aware of this, aware of that, aware of this, aware of that, aware of this, aware of that, it stops being awareness and becomes this complex thing that's alertness, because I'm being aware of all of the things. Now, if I can take all of those awarenesses and bring them back to a simple point and be aware of the one awareness. In other words, when there is one person who's telling me all these places are safe, I'm doing the awareness thing for you with those things. Here's the awareness that you need to have, Madam President, Madam General, Madam, whatever it is when they're talking to me, because I tend to go by she. When you're leading or headed towards leadership, it's important to get good at that awareness thing, which you're alert. You're paranoid at the survival level because you need to be aware of all the things all the time. You are at the safety level. You get to be alert instead of paranoid. It feels like relaxation. When you go from paranoid to alert, it feels like a month-long vacation in the part of California that isn't burning with $1 million in your bank account, and you can just hang doing whatever you want all the time. That's what alertness feels like in comparison to paranoia. Awareness is a similar vacation of, oh my God, I don't have to be aware of all of these things all the time. I get to simply be aware of key ones. Bridget, you're here. Yay! Okay, I know that it's my class and people don't do this and I'm not supposed to. However, those of you that I have given permission to put your information in the thing, please do. All right, because I want folks to, I don't know when they're going to get to see. This may be my only video, and you may be exactly the Mojusin that they need. So for the folks who have permission, I'm being specific. Jerry Littlejohn, just put your link. You don't have to explain what's going on. Just put your link in. Bridget, you love me in teacher mode. Thank you, sweetie. That means the world coming from one of the best trainers I've ever met. I was just about to say, Bridget Murphy, please put your whatever. I don't care what you put down there, a class, what it is that I'm taking with you, whatever. That'd be great. Okay, so I want to make sure that I get to the end of this. All right, on time. Out of the alertness that happens at that survival level. Oh, no, that's wrong. We've got paranoia. We've got alert. We've got paranoia at the survival level. We have alertness at the safety level. We have awareness at the security level, because awareness, when you are freed up, think about it. Seriously, folks, like, it's so beautiful. I've got to be aware of all of these things. All of these things. I have to be aware of all of them because I'm surviving. So I've got paranoia is hyper awareness of all of the things that could be threats. And then you've got, from survival, you've got safety. And that safety, I'm aware of, I get to be alert to these things. I can even count what these things are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's only 12 things. I have no idea of how many of these are. And some of those lines are like 50 dots. So no, I'm not doing that. I get to do the safety thing. Okay, I get to be aware. I get to be alert to these things. There are more than a couple, and there aren't so many that I can't be alert. However, so here I've got alertness. So I'm alert here. I'm paranoid here. I'm alert here. And then I get to security. And I just need to be thinking about maybe this. Just be aware. I need to be aware of it, because this feeds back to all of these in some way. Either I've got some sort of monitor, or I've got someone who's aware for me. In my case, I've got not a whole bunch, but it feels like a whole bunch to me. There's a bunch of people who are aware of the things in their realms, and then they tell me about those, and then I get to be aware just of what I need. Okay. And at that level with security, that's when we get to set ourselves up for sovereignty. Because when you get to that secure place where you've got, help me, Jesus, contiguous security. I'm secure, I'm secure, I'm secure, I'm secure, I'm secure, I'm secure. Think about it. When you feel into doing that, I'm literally, just do it with me. Okay. So let's do it. Paranoia gets me to, I'm surviving, 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 I'm surviving. That's what paranoia gets us to. Yay, us. Paranoia, good. Okay. In a context where it's appropriate. Then you get enough of that to where, yeah, when you start getting bored with surviving because you're just, the survival's a given. That's the contiguity. The survival is a given. Okay. Then you get to safety. All right, now feel it with me. I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. It's a completely different feeling. Like, feel this in your body. I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. It's like, well, why am I safe? That you can even ask that you have the room to ruminate about what it is that has you feel safe. Lets you know that you are actually probably in a context where you get to be and feel safe. Good job. Okay, then when you say, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. And you get to security. It's like, I've got it. I'm safe. And no matter where I turn, I'm safe. I'm safe. Jesus Christ, I'm safe. Wonderful. Then that's when you get to security. The beautiful thing about security, not that I love this at all. The beautiful thing about security is that when you do contiguous security, that's when you get to sovereignty. Not because it's contiguous security for you. Sovereignty is the point at which tribe occurs. If you are a leader with no followers, you're just a lone nut doing whatever isn't what other people are doing. You're somebody that people may or may not, like, they're not aware that you're leading anything. That's why when I started this, I told people I'm more gump than guru. I had no interest when I first started this of quote unquote leading. I'm like, I'm going over here. If anybody wants to come, that's great. That's not even an invitation. I'm going over here. I'm letting y'all know. Come or don't come. I'm good either way. I'm leaving. All right. Next thing I know, I've got a planet and people and da-da-da, what have you. It came out of, I want to create contiguous security for myself and others. And the instant others are in your consideration in that way, where what is working in our lives has the capacity to work in the lives of others, and we choose to strive towards having that occur, being at cause for that occurring for ourselves and others. That's when we get to sovereignty, which is our first and last piece. Sovereign awareness for, from, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful world where everyone who's aligned, and working my way backwards through safety. Wonderful world that for which I am grateful, where everyone who's aligned with the context that we're talking about has the capacity to be in safety enough on their own to where they can jack into the safety of the context in which they're existing. So they can bring their sense of safety to that context so that they can actually feel the safety that exists and have, in this case, the awarenesses of what's flowing between, either from them to others or for them from others, have enough of that interactive awareness and set of awarenesses to be able to recognize that they're in a contiguous security situation where that's being set up. This is how we discover whether or not we actually have safe environments, folks. This is what we're getting to. How do we create these safe environments where people have an opportunity to have enough safety contiguously to experience the security that has them be in their sovereignty? So we figure out what are those awarenesses that are needed in order for people to experience their sovereignty. Right at 1400. So on Thursday, we're going to talk we are going to talk about, now that you understand how that safety train is moving, what the cars are, what it's made out of, how we get to move forward. We're going to talk about how that's applicable and what are the tools that come out of that understanding. I hope that you guys will watch this video again. I hope that you took notes. Please be ready. Please let folks know to come. They can watch this and then be ready for Thursday, because we're going to dive in like this. And as I said, this isn't the kind of thing where, okay, so now I'm going to tell you what I'm going to say, and then I'm going to tell you 3 things, and then I'm going to be done and everybody can get it. That's not what this is for. It's not what I'm for. What I'm for is getting as much information that's going to lift everybody's life up as I possibly can. We're going to have a safety course. We're going to have a flat out, 4-part paid course that comes after this. And I will every once in a while do this one as well, because I want the safety information out to everyone. Because when we all are able to create safety for ourselves and generate that safety and security for others, then we get to be co-sovereigns in creating realities that are safe for more and more people. And that's my goal. And I hope that's yours as well. So thank you very much for being here today. I'm looking forward to hearing feedback from anyone who wants to share it. You can DM me. Please keep your eyes out when I announce my safety course that's going to come after this. And in the meantime, please get your folks, your people, the folks who follow you, the folks that you follow, please let them know about these 4 free, no charge, deep dives into what it means to know the safety that you're creating and then create it, because that's what we're setting up. All right. Thank you, everyone. I want to say I'm JWoW of Planet JWoW. And this is there are 2 prayers that I want to do. I know we're 2 minutes over. I'm definitely going to do the 24-second prayer. And don't run off because it's prayer. It's you being in your power for 24 seconds and reaching that out into the world. That's what this is. And that's what we're going to do. So the power that you feel, the capacity, the hope, however you got lifted up that happened today, we're going to take that right now and we're going to put it out into the world. Those of you who follow me, you know what we're doing. Here we go. So we're reaching out into the world with our love and our power, and it matters. It matters because we declare it as mattering. Here we go. On the count of 3, 24 seconds of being in your power and sending it out into the world. 1, 2, 3. Totally stay in your power. Stay completely focused on what it is that you can do. Be in a conversation with yourself about your power, about what's wonderful about you, about how you matter, how you make a difference, because you do. You do, and you get to. And you get to love the fact that you have that power, that ability to influence that which is not your business. Good job. There we go. All right, sweet ones. This was fun, and we covered a lot. So I'll see you on Thursday, this coming Thursday, at 1300 Eastern Time, at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. And let's end with this. This is the Joe Evans who's on Planet JWoW. This is his prayer. May yourselves and your tribes be empowered by, with, from, through, and in your actions and choices that you make this day. Blessings and blessings, everybody. I'm JWoW, Planet JWoW, and we are a tribe-sourced human. This is our legend that we're building together, sweet ones. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to do it with you. Sticking to it. See you soon. Bye-bye.